Peace and love, beautiful beings here on planet Earth at this time of ascension. My name is Layla, chosen goddess. Welcome to my channel, Let Go My Ego, where we talk about all topics that have to do with letting go of our egos and learning to let our hearts and our souls lead the way. So today I have a really juicy topic. It's all about the 8 daily essentials to bring forth abundance into the year 2024. And just to let you know, I want to let you know how this topic came about. This year is a 7-year. It's a 7-year because 2023, if you add up the numbers 2, 0, 2, and 3, it adds up to 7. And the number 7 is all about spirituality. And spirituality, mastering your inner self, mastering your inner wisdom, mastering your inner knowledge, is all what leads to abundance in all forms. And so next year, 2024, is an 8-year. And the 8 year is all about abundance, infinite, being an infinite being, expansion. And we're going to talk more about that as this podcast goes on. If you're watching me on the YouTube channel, welcome. If you're listening to me on the podcast, welcome. If you are watching me on the YouTube channel, you're going to notice I'm looking at my computer. I'm looking at notes to make sure I cover everything. But I'm really excited you're here, and let's get into it. You know, this topic is for anyone who is just looking to just have a better life, to be a better person, to move through more ease and grace, to be more in tune with self, to be more in tune with the divine. And I just want to go over all of the details. So I started off this year getting a higher self message with the assistance of my guides to focus on 7 daily essentials and to master them by incorporating them in my everyday life. So it's all about focusing on the little things and simplifying my life. This has brought me so much deep peace, so much more clarity, so much inner peace, and also deeper understanding on the true essence of life. Because a lot of times we're so focused on the big things, we forget about the little things that are really actually the big things, because they create foundation and they create inner peace. And so we're missing so many steps. So these 7 daily essentials have really helped me, and we're going to get into that in a second and what they are. And you know, it's so important. The simple things are just to love and to be love, and not just do and go. It's so important that we recognize that, yeah, action is required in our journeys, but it is no longer from that egoic space of trying to prove anything to others, settling for less, just settling for less in terms of, the mediocrity of life, or things that are not soul fulfilling, or anything that's not anything that's not in your higher self's alignment, which means your highest potential. Not even proving to yourself or proving to others or to get a bag, which most people who are thinking in terms of getting a bag, they have a lot of emotional, mental, and spiritual baggage. That's why they're always focused on getting a bag. I mean, there's so much, the bag will get you, okay? And actually, you don't want a bag. You want to be so expansive. It's just, you're infinitely poured into. So, that getting a bag mentality, that hustle mentality, that is very, very, it's not it. It's not ascension. I mean, it's a start. It may be what we may have to go through in this human journey before we realize that there's more to life than just being a boss or a hustler. And trust me, all of those are great, but it's so much deeper than that. And this podcast will help you with that as well as this YouTube video. It's no longer trying to see your worth, because your pure essence is internal and eternal. It is divine love at all of our core. So these 7 daily essentials that were gifted to me at the beginning of this year by my spirit, my angels, my guides, my higher self, was to simply tune in to spirituality and nature. That's number 1. That's the foundation of it all. Exercise and nourishment, cleaning and clearing, play and inner child healing, learning and reading, divine creativity, and rest and integration. So those were the 7 I started off with this year. Now that we are moving into the 8 year, 1 additional daily essential has been added by my spirit team, and they told me to add, as part of my daily devotion, heart-based action. And because I know that action must accompany our spiritual practices, I know that moving from a place of love and all that needs to be done and all that you are called to do is a beautiful, miraculous energy to be in. So action from a place of love activates that fiery passion. It activates a gratitude. It activates that soul guidance when you know that you need to take meaningful action instead of taking egoic action, which is like the hustling we were talking about, needing to prove something, overworking, overdoing. A lot of that comes from a fear programming. So when we're taking action from the heart, there is no fear. And so when I think of love, I'm talking about action that is at one with the highest will of the divine for the greatest good of all. And rather you are taking action with ease and grace and excitement, and even in the mundane task, that needs to be done. So like the little things, the even littler things like washing your clothes or washing dishes or cooking, even that, having lots of deep gratitude, because that's all these little things that we tend to overlook, even down to cleaning your home or wiping your desk or cleaning your body. Things like that are all for the highest and greatest good of all. And you start to recognize that more the more spiritual you get, and how it all trickles down into the greater good of everything, especially in your life. And also taking action with no pressure. There is no pressure or expectation to gain something. And this is the thing, when you're taking action from the heart, you don't need pressure because you're driven by that love. And it's just complete flow, even in things that are a priority, which will take a lot of trust in reprogramming the mind for many of us, because a lot of us are scared to step out of that comfort zone. So this is getting out of the comfort zone of the ego. So this is really, really important. So these 8 daily essentials that the divine is asking all of us to incorporate into our day-to-day lives in our own unique ways, to anchor in that abundance within and without. Because when we think of abundance, a lot of times we're thinking of just money, we're thinking of just material gain, we're thinking of, again, surface level things. But all of that's great too. But the true abundance is that inner gratitude, knowing like on a deep cellular level, like in your blood, in your auric field, that you are always supported, you are always guided, you are always protected, you are super powerful. And so you're actually probably doing some of these essentials now, such as, like let's say cleaning and clearing. Most of us, if you're a clean person, you're at least cleaning your house maybe once a day, doing something. If you're a spiritual person, you're praying, or even if you're a religious person. Now, I don't really believe religion is this, well, I know from my own personal beliefs and studies that religion is not the same thing as spirituality. However, I feel like you can still be a spiritual person and be religious, to a degree, you know what I'm saying? So, even if you're religious, if you're praying, you have a good heart, because at the end of the day, no matter what the labels are, if you have a good heart, you are a very spiritual person. And we can get even more spiritual when we get past the illusions of, of this world, of this matrix. And that's a whole nother topic for another day, so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But we're most of us are doing some type of daily essential each and every day. And so this podcast, this YouTube video will help you be more conscientious of incorporating each of these daily essentials, so that that you become more devotional to your heart and your soul, more devoted to laying the foundation of your life. Because when you lay the foundation of your life, that is how you create that fertile soil for all your manifestations to flourish abundantly and effortlessly. So let's master the little things before we start trying to get to the big things, like getting to the bag, which again, that is completely wrong town, in my opinion. Let the bag get to you by mastering these little things. The universe works so fluidly and effortlessly when we, again, tune into the heart and the soul. And so these 8 daily essentials may sound like a lot to some of you, but let me tell you, they are very attainable. And again, you are most likely doing some of these on a day-to-day basis anyway. But again, you're going to be more conscientious of incorporating these in your days. And you are doing these as a reminder of your soul's growth, and it can invite in remarkable gratitude and happiness and a sense of justified pride, because again, now you're living a meaningful life. You're not just going about your life and just in a way where it's like you have no idea what's going on. When I say you have no idea, like you're here and you're there, but you're not there. You're not fully present with life. So this will help you be fully present with life in your heart, in your soul, in your body, in your mind, your whole entire beingness. And this can also become a natural way of being, which is the goal, to learn to live in our human nature and create our realities uniquely, because this truly creates balance in all areas of our lives and brings in deep, deep inner peace through soul fulfillment in this human experience. So, however, we must be devoted with our time, which I like to replace with our energy. And that devotion has everything to do with divine love. And when I'm talking about love, I'm not talking about relationship type of love. I'm talking about being in love with all aspects of life, being in love with yourself, being in love with your days, being in love with your children. If you don't have children, being in love with your whatever, your pets, your family. Even if they're toxic, you can love them from a distance, like learning to truly be so deeply in love with your life. And this love is what feeds us mind, body, spirit, emotions, and of course, financially. The abundant universe, aka the divine, aka God, Goddess, covers all areas, and that universe is inside of you. So the abundant universe will always provide. It is our nature and our birthright. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. All right. Always need water. Water is so good. So let's talk about the significance of the numerology of 8. It is the energy of creating your reality. It is infinite. It is infinite supply. That's the abundant universe. There is no end and there's no beginning. It is eternal. We are eternal. Remember, we're in these bodies, we're in this vessel, we're in this suit, but the soul is eternal. Abundance, prosperity, achievement, success. Those are the qualities of 8, that inner success, that inner achievement of attaining unity consciousness. That means transcending duality. Again, that's a topic for another time. So we're talking about even going beyond the confines of what we have been taught that success is, which is getting married and having a family and going to college. And yeah, all of that's great, but let's be real. How many people are married and going to college and miserable, right? How many people are millionaires and on drugs and engaging in all kind of degeneracy? Let's be honest about that. So yes, abundance, prosperity, achievement, success, karma, and dharma. And karma actually means action. Again, that's another topic for another day. So it's not so much specifically all about reaping what you sow. It does include that, but it's think of it in terms of all of your actions are a culmination of what your karma, because again, karma can be good karma. It's not about bad. Because a lot of times when we think of karma, we think of badness or something bad happening to you. No, karma can also be good. And so it's about that action that you're putting out in the world, taking the action from the heart. That's how you create that beautiful karma. And that's actually how you step into dharma. And dharma is divine order. It's universal law and a beingness which works with the divine order of all things as a divine being yourself. And again, that's a topic for another day and we can dive deeper into that. But again, karma means action, and dharma, think of law and order, not man-made law. We're not talking about following the laws of man. I'm talking about the universal law, the balance, the oneness, the harmony, the unity of all that is, the flow. Again, transcending duality into oneness. So I want to make some notes about the 8 daily devotions before we get deeper into it. These are in no particular order, although I do personally feel the most important one is spirituality in nature, which you will find encompassed in all 8 of these essentials. I feel spirituality and being in nature, which is our nature, is the foundation for everything. And like I said, we'll get into it so you can understand more why. This is completely attainable for every human on earth. This is what my higher self and my inner guidance has told me. And again, it's more simple than you think. And it's all about how we allocate our energy, meaning how you spend your energy on a day-to-day basis. What you focus on matters. These 8 daily devotions will help you with embodying your abundance on all levels. Again, mastering the simple things we often neglect in pursuit of the big things, which bring no true soul fulfillment. That's why a lot of people pursue these big things. And again, there's no soul fulfillment because they forgot maybe just how to be a kind person. They forgot how to laugh and tend to their inner child. We forget about the simplicity of life and the pure essence of the divine, which is love. And love is so simple, but it's also so complex because of the ego. Yet it's so simple in the heart and instant when it's in the heart and soul. And big things cannot satisfy us if we don't take care of the little things, which I always say are the real big things. Again, hence millionaires, being drug addicts, sex addicts, narcissistic, energy vampires, etc., etc. You get my drift. I mean, you don't have to be a millionaire. You could be broke and still have those tendencies. So yeah, I mean, the big things are really the little things. Again, the beingness, nothing to prove and everything to be. That's what these 8 daily essentials are going to help you get into. Just be, which is true soul liberation. Also, it's that 0 point. The 0 point, when we talk about 0 point, it's if you think of an infinity symbol, it's the space that's in between the infinite. It's right here. It's right in between the infinity. And infinity looks like an 8, And so, yes, that 0 point is that, again, that totality, that infinite potential, that nothingness, that everythingness. It's the meeting, it's where both worlds meet, right? And so, yeah, that's what beingness is all about, is that 0 point, infinite, nothingness, everything, unity, consciousness, energy. Holistic health, mind, body, spirit, and emotional high health, which in turn creates miracles and abundance. Again, true wealth is your health, and health is not just delegated to the body. It's the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotional health as well. And there is a health too with your finances, but I really believe your finances are a byproduct of the mind, body, spirit, and emotional health. And also these 8 daily essentials will help with creative and authentic self-expression. So no longer needing to wear a mask as an identity. And I will say that we as human beings, we wear many different masks. We may have the mask of a parent. We may have the mask of, being friends with whoever we're friends with. We have the mask. You're not going to show up in every environment or around every different group of people always the same. But when we talk about creative and authentic self-expression, your essence will always still be the same. You just show up a little different in different scenarios, if that makes sense. So by nature of being a human, we do wear masks. But when I talk about this mask, I'm talking about the fakeness, the needing, again, the ego taking over. And that's what we do not want in any situation that we're in. So let's move on. Let's get started with the 8 daily essentials. I'm super, super excited. So the first 8 daily essential, again, is the foundation, spirituality and nature. So when we talk about spirituality, we're talking about being in great spirits. You feel connected and in tune. You're at one. Your senses are heightened. Your breathing has depth and is aligned. Your clairs are aligned. When I talk about clairs, I'm talking about things like your clairsentience, that's your ability to feel. Your claircognizance, that's your ability to know. Your clairaudience, that's your ability to hear beyond the audible hearing, like hearing deeper into the messages or even getting messages from your spirit guides without hearing the audible sounds. That's that clairaudience. So yeah, that spirituality can really heighten all of that. Going out in nature daily, sunlight codes are important. Grounding, nature again is our nature. Sound healing is in nature. You can hear it from the wind, the birds. You could even listen to Mother Earth's heartbeat. Again, if your clairs are really online, you can hear, some people can hear the trees talking. And if you're not that advanced, at the very least, you can hear, like I said, the animals, you can hear the wind. And again, all of this is so healing to the spirit. There's a reason why there's such a beautiful connection with nature, and all indigenous cultures have a lot of mastery and deep relationship with Mother Nature, from not only the herbs and the plants, but just the wisdom they've gained from being in Mother Nature. Meditation. So meditation is presence, it's breath, it's relaxation, it's detachment, not desensitization. That's another topic for another day, but detachment. Focus in the flow, letting it all go, letting love in. Stillness and movement can both be a meditation. If you're present, you can be in a meditative state throughout the day with practice and giving the mind a rest or a focal point. Beta waves. So let's talk about a little bit about brainwave activity. So beta waves is when your brain is processing information. That's the analysis paralysis and overthinking, which is what most human beings are in on a day-to-day state. When we move into the alpha and theta wave state, that is the more relaxed meditative state of mind, almost like light sleep. You're not fully asleep. You're still conscious and aware, but you're in this space, which is like a deeper state, but not quite sleep. Guided meditation assists you in becoming more present and going deeper, and they have usually a specific intention or devotion or focus. Breathing and tuning into the heart constantly, especially when you feel frustrated, uneasy, angry, triggered, etc. This is a beautiful, simple practice that must be remembered constantly, is the power of the breath. Everything can be deemed spiritual. This is another thing. When we leave with a higher perspective, which usually takes practice of learning to be in our hearts and lead with our hearts no matter what, and tuning into the soul, what the soul wants for us and wants us to learn and expand. So, Earth is always a higher self playground, I like to say. It's an exercise to teach us to be more in our hearts. And when I say more in our hearts, just what's for the highest and greatest good of all. I'm not talking about, what we consider, again, the mundane sense of love. What's for the highest and greatest good of all. And remember, you are part of the all, so that includes you too. Beauty rituals are a form of spirituality in forms of baths, facials, massages, showers, acupuncture, etc., etc. Also shamanic practices, like people who do magic, like candle magic or petition magic. Deeper rituals such as working with oracles or psychics or shamans, doing past life regressions, plant medicine, altar work, etc., etc. And trust me, it helps so much. Or trust yourself if you've never delved into it. Unfortunately, not everyone is pure who are in these shamanic practices. It's no different than not everybody's pure who's a doctor, or not everybody's pure who's a preacher, or not everybody's pure who's a teacher, etc., etc. You get my drift. We're still human beings, but these practices are very, very real, especially with people who have pure souls and have integrity with the practice. Also, simplistic things like journaling or reflecting, again, meditating, praying, talking to God, being alone, assessing yourself, shadow work. And there's practical ways to do shadow work. I would do a podcast on that too. Or just being still and just simply breathing. Those are simple ways to be in a more spiritual state. So I hope you know now how important spirituality is. And again, spirituality is everything. However, when you hone in on these more potent and powerful and specific spiritual practices, that's when it's easier to not only expand your mind into seeing how everything else is spiritual and for your highest, greatest good, because we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all evolving through everything. So it's really beautiful when you can hone in on those more devout and specific spiritual practices like meditation or guided meditations or whatever, everything we talked about. And you'll be able to see how you'll be able to live your life in devotion to the divine through yourself in your own unique way. It's super, super powerful. So let's move into exercise and nourishment. So the human body is made to move and not be stagnant. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be a gym addict to get moving in ways that interest you. We should be moving daily. The body, again, the blood has to be flowing. The ligaments have to be moving. When we stay stagnant, we are not shifting energy out the body, and it's just not good for your physical health overall. Healthy bodies consist of 80% nourishment and 20% exercise. And so when I say 80-20, I'm not talking about you're exercising only 20% out of the week. I'm talking about the totality of your physical health is 80% of what you eat and 20% of exercise. So you're still exercising and moving daily in your own unique way. But if you really, really want to get healthy, you got to fuel yourself with the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients from the nourishment, the foods that you eat. That's your fuel. And that's what's going to also help you perform better when you're doing those exercises. Examples of exercise, as you know, yoga, hiking, walking, running, even unconventional ways of doing exercise like carrying groceries or cleaning your home. Those are ways to, again, get your body moving and realize it's a privilege to move your body. It really is. Walking upstairs, we should be able to run upstairs. Again, it's a privilege to move your body. So when you start getting lazy, or you start thinking like, oh, I don't want to carry these groceries in the house, or I don't feel like walking up these stairs, guess what? You get to move your body. There's people who are paralyzed. There's people who don't have legs. There's people who have to sit in a chair all day, or maybe they're super, super overweight, or maybe they just have health issues. They could be super skinny. It doesn't matter. You get my drift. My point is that some people wish they could move their bodies. And so take advantage of the fact that you can move your body. The mind follows the body, and a nourished body is a vehicle for enlightenment. I want to say that again. The mind follows the body. The body is a gateway to your light bodies. And when we're talking about light bodies, I'm talking about your etheric bodies. I'm talking about your chakras. I'm talking about your Merkaba. Those are your vehicles to travel interdimensionally through time, space, reality. It's very quantum. Again, that's another topic for another day. But when you get your light bodies going, you can receive and process divine intelligence more efficiently with a nourished body. And again, if you are not familiar with stuff like Merkabas or astral travel, etc., think just in terms of chakras. Those are your energy centers in your body, and you'll be able to tune more into those. And of course, your crown chakra, which will help you to receive more divine intelligence and more divine knowing through your body. Your body is a vehicle for enlightenment. It really is. You will start to be able to feel your body's intuitive intelligence and know when and where you are safe and loved. You can feel it in your body. You can feel, and that's why a lot of people have a lot of health issues. Even me, I have issues I'm working through from trauma, through conditioning, through things I've held on to I wasn't even aware of. Like even in my neck and my shoulders, I carry a lot of density here. It's because I carry the weight of a lot of people's issues, story of an empath. So, listening to your body's intuitive intelligence and knowing where you are safe and loved, and when you feel like something is off in your body, it is, and even tuning in deeper into the body by allowing yourself to move and to transmute energy and receive information from your body on what needs to be healed and where where it is in your body, which heightens this primordial intelligence. So know your body knows. Your body is a database. Your body knows exactly, and allow it to communicate to you. And you can't do that if you're not taking care of the body. You're not activating your light body through the nourishment, through the light codes, through the spirituality, all of the above. Again, everything is interconnected. So yeah, your body is super, super powerful. So again, exercise and nourishment, key for all of us every day, even in the simplest ways. Just get moving and nourish your body as a lifestyle. We're not always going to get it perfect. We're not always going to be 100%. But again, it's a practice. And the more that you activate that light body and the more that you get yourself nourished, you will no longer crave those things that take you away from being your best self. All right, let's move on to cleaning and clearing. So when you clean your space in your body, you create space and open up a fluid, non-constrictive, divine energy for abundance to overflow in all areas. So keeping a clean space, body, mind, and spirit, is a testament to your self-worth in terms of how worthy you feel about yourself. So I'm not saying if you have a dirty home that you're not worthy. No, it's a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Do you feel like you're worthy of the best? Do you feel like you're worthy of cleanliness? Also, that's a testament of your mind and your spirit. Everything, again, is interconnected. If you have a cluttered mind and spirit, then your home is going to be cluttered. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are or how much good of a person you think you are. Everything is interconnected. Keeping a clean space. We talked about that already. Sorry, I'm looking at notes. Dedicate yourself to a minimum of 30 minutes to 2 hours a day, if you have the time, to deep clean your space and organize. And again, 30 minutes is like nothing. It goes by so quick nowadays. It could be something as simple as cleaning your car out or sweeping the home. That should take no more than 20-30 minutes, depending on how big your home is. It's just something, folding the clothes, do something, clean your space. You will feel better energetically by cleaning your space. Also, don't judge yourself. This is another thing. A lot of times, if we've been raised in a cluttered space or we don't have the best cleanly habits, we can be overwhelmed if we have a heavy load to carry. So my rule of thumb is, no matter where you are at in your cleanliness journey, do something once a day and keep a schedule for yourself and hold yourself accountable. Do one thing at a time and don't overwhelm yourself. Remember, you don't have to do it all in one day. You will feel more empowered and peaceful doing a little each day. Also, make sure you don't go back and mess up what you already cleaned. So if you live with other people, have your family stay accountable with you. Have little children pick up after themselves. I do that to my son. He's 8 years old and he's autistic, and I still make him clean up after himself. He's not an idiot, My son is very intelligent, so he's just different. He processes different, he needs some help sometimes. We all need some help, but my son, I make him clean up. So have everybody stay accountable with you as well, and everyone clean up after themselves. And again, give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, but do something about it. Clean the space, open it up to abundance. So when you clean spaces, what you're opening up to is inspiration. You're opening up to passion. You're opening up to motivation. You're opening up to abundance. You're opening up to beauty. You're opening up to devotion. You're opening up to clarity, to confidence, ease and grace, peace. Come on now, we love us some peace over here. I know everybody loves them some peace, or you should. And create a sacred space for your home and where you take up space. So your home should feel like your sanctuary. Your home should be like your retreat. Also, your body is your home, and you take that everywhere you go. Again, keeping a clean vessel, and where you can feel recharged and replenished. So the more that you get on a schedule and stay devout and cleanliness, and also make it exciting. It doesn't have to be a mundane task. I mean, it is a mundane task, so to speak, but it doesn't have to be boring. You can have fun, and again, give gratitude. Gratitude is one of the quickest ways to shift. Like, I get to clean my home. I get to move my body. To somebody that may sound insane, but trust me, it's a complete, again, it's all about perspective. And the more spiritual you are, again, you see the spirituality and the blessing in everything. So cleaning your home, recharging your home, feeling replenished. And a clean home will help everyone have a cleaner mind and spirit and simply feel good about yourself. So have everyone contribute and do their part. And remember, do a little each day. And sometimes the cleaning you may have to do for the day is to clean your mind and your spirit. So sometimes it's not just about the space. Sometimes, again, it's about the body, the mind, and the spirit, so that you can clean the space. Or if you're just feeling off, so you have the energy and the clarity, and you're clear and you're cleansed in what needs to be cleansed in the spaces that you inhabit. So again, cleansing and clearing, it could be like in the forms of, again, saging your home, getting negative energy out the home, or doing spiritual floor washes, or even inhaling some Palo Santo to help you like alleviate any type of anxiety and calm your nervous system. Things like that are so beautiful for cleansing and clearing. So tune into that. Let's move. We're moving right along. We are almost halfway through. Play and inner child healing. This is a big one because we are so serious as human beings. We've been programmed to be like that. We forget to have fun, to laugh, to let our hair down, not be so serious. So it's being lighthearted in nature. It's not that serious. So this is huge. So think about children. What your inner child is the child in you that it's been suppressed. It's been locked away. So children love to play. They naturally have enthusiasm and they're excited even over the little things. You know, like children get excited over bugs. They get excited like when you cook something and they're like, oh, what's going on? What are you making? They get excited to hear new topics. They live life as one big celebration, which I love about children. And they're usually like that until they've been traumatized or hurt. But most children are very, very excited. And by nature, they love life. They're curious, right? They want to know more about people. They have like this, earth is this imaginative playground for them where anything is possible. Again, before trauma and societal programming and fear has been introduced to them. So the inner child is that part of you, again, that's been suppressed and hidden to be the real you and to live from the heart, your own mind, your own soul and intuition. The inner child is where that true authenticity is found with the adult wisdom that we gain through maturity and experience. So some questions, and maybe if you have a journal, you can write this down. Don't forget, you can pause this podcast or come back to it, or you can pause the video. But some questions that you can write down to kind of tune into your inner child if you're still not clear or you're even clicking in what I mean by inner child. And answering these questions will help you put the pieces of the puzzle together. What does my inner child need from me right now at this moment? And if you just silence yourself, you tune into your heart and breathe and really soak in the question, you will find an answer. What does my inner child need from me right now at this moment? The next question is, what was taken away from me as a child that I can give back to myself now as an adult? And I'm not talking about like a toy taken away from you or nothing like that. I'm talking about the essence of your inner child. So what was taken away from me as a child that I can give back to myself on a soul level now as an adult? What excites my inner child the most? And I'm being called to go back to that statement I mentioned about a toy being taken away from you. Let's stick with that. Maybe a toy was taken away from you, but what did that do to you inside? So that's what we want to focus on. So let's say somebody stole a toy from you or bullied you or something like that, which is all unfortunate and it hurts as a child. What did that do to your soul? Tune into that. Why is my inner child hurting and not able to express him or herself? What does my inner child need from me to feel heard, seen, loved, and loved unconditionally? So again, pause it, take a moment to write, and come back to it later if you feel called, if you don't have a pen and paper. But this is a beautiful way to start getting familiar with what your inner child needs to heal. Most of us have buried our inner child and have become stiff, too serious, no fun, and feeling disconnected. This is because most adults are bombarded with stress and unease when our lighthearted inner child is yearning and crying and calling to come out and play. So think about the ways of children before they are tainted by the world. How can we be more playful, fun, compassionate, not so serious, non-judgmental, imaginative, and free like a child, and come back to innocence? What will it take to liberate your inner child so you can liberate you and express yourself honoring all of your needs? Play is so important in this human experience, to let your hair down and just be. Children don't care about what other people think until they are taught to get validation from others. And they are also taught that some people are so-called better than others. And they're taught to honor a false societal hierarchy based on superficiality, toxicity, and lies. Being playful is not about being like not caring, or I should say, being careful. How can I say this? Being playful is not about being, careless. It's about being carefree. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what being playful is. It's about being carefree. It's about being true to yourself, because you're no longer seeking the validation of others or even caring about what others think in terms of validating yourself. Carefree people express themselves freely with no constraint because they are doing so with love, and it is a state of being. Again, they're not trying, they're not overdoing, they're not trying to prove anything. This is the childlike state. Play teaches us the lighthearted, sweet nature of our soul, which is captivating and healing to all. The inner child is a return to innocence, its purity, its childlike wonder and awe, and returning to love, which is so, so beautiful. So beautiful, right? So now we know how important the inner child is. Let's move on. We're on to number 5. We're getting there, only 3 more to go. Learning and reading. This is super important as well. Expanding your knowledge and opening your mind. We are going to be learning until the day we transition out of this earthly experience. So you might as well get on board and open up your mind and stop acting like we know it all, because a lot of us don't know anything. That includes me too. And when I say we don't know anything, it doesn't mean we don't know something, but we have so much more to learn. Education comes from the Latin word educare, which means to bring out. So true education will always bring out your own innate inner gifts. Notice what your interests are, and notice how you can expand your knowledge with that, because it won't be boring, but it will be exciting. So I feel like when we're in terms of being educated, we should all study what our soul and our heart is calling us to study and to learn. The more you learn, the more confidence you will get and expand your passions. Learning is also not about just learning from others or learning from books or outside sources. Learning can be learning about yourself from reflection and self-awareness. And sometimes relationships are learning from others help us to learn more about ourselves. So again, spending time alone and also teaches you so much more about yourself than any other human being could. So I want to talk about some ways to learn more about yourself, because I think this is one of the most potent ways you can learn in this human experience. Watch yourself as an observer from your thoughts, the words, the actions, and the reactions, and even the energy you're putting forth into the world, as well as what you allow yourself to observe from external stimuli. Ooh, super powerful, right? Notice what interests you. What do you look up to? What type of energy are you into? Ask yourself, is your interest an ego feed, or is it soul fulfilling? And be honest. And if you're not being honest, the ego has taken over, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes a lot of work before we can get real with our egos, right? And put it in its place lovingly. Listen to your inner voice over your mind. You will start to hear clearer from your intuition, which is that inner wisdom, when you get clearer, in which all of your daily essentials will help you with. Notice how much your inner guidance system is divine intelligence and is the compass to your highest destiny. Journaling and self-reflecting, listening to your higher self, and even asking yourself questions in which you will be surprised on the answers you get when you're in a peaceful, quiet state. Learning through your experiences, especially the ones that aren't so favorable, and ask yourself, what is this teaching me, instead of why is this happening to me? That is super, super powerful. So after knowledge comes wisdom with proper application and practice. The embodiment comes from the wisdom, helping you earn a master's in yourself. That's the only type of masters we should be really focused on, is self-mastery. Replace distractions. Oh, this is a big one. And trust me, there are distractions that is like the plague, okay? That is the pandemic, is that distractions. All these distractions from self. So replace distractions with educational or inspirational content that helps you expand and to live a life filled with more ease and grace. And you can listen to podcasts like this one, audiobooks, or any other educational content, like while you're cleaning, while you're resting, while you're showering, while you're cooking, while you're driving, all for example. These are ways to sneak in some of that inspiration, some of that knowledge, some of that expansion, some of that learning. And so that way you can incorporate learning and be your highest potential in even creative ways. And again, it's not just reading a book. Reading books are great. They're reading yourself, reading your mind, reading your energy. Learning builds more confidence and character because it replaces belief and uncertainty with knowledge and surety. Even if what we think we know evolves, we can be at peace with that, because when you are open-minded, you are excited and you're enthused about the endless journey of learning in this human experience. So a lot of times we'll find out what we know is really like a distortion of what the true wisdom is, or it's diluted somehow, if that makes sense. So again, staying open-minded allows you to evolve and to grow and not have any ego involved, which is super powerful. All right, moving on to creativity and authentic expression. Creativity is a literal channeling of divine inspiration with you as the conduit, which is the vessel for divine wisdom to flow through you. Creativity is not only about creating something outside of yourself or something tangible like a business, books, dancing, etc., etc. It's about creating your mind, your day-to-day experience. It's about creating your mood, how you want to feel, which is the catalyst for manifestation. So when we want to have the most beloved divine experience, we got to tune into creating those feelings. And we have to realize that in any given moment, we have the power to change our thoughts, our emotions, our actions with divine willpower. And that's a form of self-mastery. We must practice this. This is a form of alchemy. And the more we know how to do this, the more that we free ourselves. It is all up to us collectively. If you are feeling like creator's block, then create space. That's all that is. You have to create the space in your mind, space in your environment, space in your heart, space to be alone and to hear and to feel the divine guidance, even in the subtleties. So I'm talking about the little things that we may overlook are all leading us up to get that whatever divine inspiration that we need, or divine guidance. Sometimes we may need to be in inspirational environments or around inspirational people or get advice. So seek advice or energy from those that inspire you. Having the willpower to eliminate, again, distractions of the mind and all things outside of self. And willpower is a practice. So, when you eliminate distractions, you're eliminating that self-sabotage that keeps you from, tuning into your heart and soul and taking action from there. So, and reminder, all 8 of these daily essentials that we're going over are interconnected. So it's so important to prioritize all of these each and every day by having your why. So why are you doing it? Why are you cleaning? Why are you learning? Why are you playing? Why are these important? And what are you going to do about it? So the why and the what. That way, you can create your day-to-day in your own unique way and have your own unique application of all of these daily essentials. Moving on to rest and integration. This is a big, big one. Rest and being still is just as important as taking action. You do need to integrate. You need to restore yourself. You need to find time to let it all go. This earth, this experience is overstimulating. Just taking a drive in this crazy traffic with crazy people who are in their egos on the road can be overstimulating, especially to us empaths or just people who are trying to be good people. And it's a lot to take in. So we need time to restore and to come back to that love and light and equilibrium and be at one with self. We're taught to hustle, work hard, to grind. That's burnout. That's what creates anxiety and feeling displaced. And again, there's no soul fulfillment in just getting a bag with baggage attached to it. You want to feel as light as a feather and let money and success work for you. You don't chase it, you become it. And part of that becoming is to let it come to you, which requires that rest and integration in all of your spiritual, loving endeavors. We must feel refreshed, renewed, restored, revitalized, regenerated in this 3D. When I say 3D, I'm talking about duality, this good and bad experience that we experience here on earth. Don't ever feel guilty to rest. Adults need naps too, okay? So, we need to sit sometimes and do absolutely nothing. And there's nothing wrong with that from time to time. It could be deep sleep. It could be listening to a meditation. It could be just laying down. It could be just sitting in your bed maybe looking crazy to others, but you're like really just zoned out, and that's what you need at the time. You will not miss the boat, so to speak, for taking time to rest. Matter of fact, you are the boat. You will miss out on the ever so common depression that most of us go through by suppressing our emotions and not feeling it all, by not taking the time to rest, to integrate, and to reflect. We must feel all of our emotions and rest and process after feeling and dealing with all that needs to be dealt with. Remember, we are not robots. We are human beings. And although we are divine in our human expression, this does not mean we are invincible to go through life as if we don't need to refuel. The ego needs always to prove how hard of a worker you are and how you can do what you can do all in one day. But that is always sometimes at the expense of our mental health, which trickles down into all areas of life. Yes, action again is required. So rest and trust and surrender so you can take better action. When you rest, you have more clarity and you can take more aligned action rather than action from a wounded place. Trust in the divine timing of life and trust you are exactly where you need to be. There's an old saying that says, slow and steady wins the race. So with that, I take that as pacing yourself. Do one step at a time. Realize you're exactly where you need to be. And sometimes the action is inaction. Shout out to my sister Medina for saying that. It always stuck with me. There is also action in inaction and vice versa. So let the universe take some action for you by you slowing down. And the last but not least, heart-based action. All right. So after the rest and integration, we are now fueled, we are recharged, and we recognize there's nothing to prove and there's everything to be. So what does that mean again? Let's talk about it. Heart-based action brings joy, inner peace, equilibrium to your life, because this is the only reason why you're doing it. You're only doing it because it brings you true soul fulfillment and joy. This is who you are at your truest essence. This is the soul fulfillment. You become engulfed in fiery, passionate focus. There is devotion to the soul's highest purpose in heart-based action, and it also is consciously for the highest and greatest good of all. Heart-based action pays attention to the details. It pays attention to the little things, such as prioritizing mental health, prioritizing taking care of our bodies, prioritizing nurturing our loving relationships and those that we say that we care about. It's the foundation for all of our lives. All of the essentials on this list are the little things that are, again, often overlooked, which are the big things. And, those big things will flourish, such as having a lucrative 6 or 7 figure business that brings legacy, no matter what the income bracket is. When you take action from the heart and you have foundation and legacy, which is from a culmination of the little things. So devotion is taking at least one healthy action step every day to get out of your comfort zone. And devotion is doing everything, again, that will help you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. All else is a distraction. If it's not helping you with those things, it's a distraction, even distractions of your own mind. Comfort zones are always uncomfortable to the soul. Don't forget that. Comfort zones are always uncomfortable to the soul. The saying goes, it is insanity to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. So notice when you need to switch it up. Sometimes the action step is as simple as turning off the television after 8 p.m. so you can read, so you can focus, so you can kind of wind down for the day. Maybe the action step is you need to spend more time with your loved ones. Maybe the action step is you need to start a business and you need to take one step in that direction. No matter how it's perceived to be big or small, get clear with something by tuning into your heart. Action from the heart is how we open up the portal to miracles. And I can attest to this. I'm not just saying this stuff just to say it. A lot of this stuff I'm a living testament. I can't tell you how much action I've been taking from the heart, and the universe just carries me. The universe supports me, pours into me. I don't have a 9-to-5 yet. I have a home, I have a nice car, I travel all the time. And most importantly, I'm constantly having the time to work on myself first and foremost. That's what's the most important to me. And so I'm a testament to it. And if I can do it, you can do it. So that's how you open up those portals to miracles. And we will never know the mysteries of the universe unless we take a leap of faith and get on with what lights up our soul, even if it doesn't make sense at first, as long as it feels right. When you take action from the heart, fear can no longer exist, even if it was at once present. You are now doing things with no need for a reward, or no validation, or no particular outcome, or no form of notoriety or validation, which I just said, sorry, is a repeat. You do it because it brings your soul joy. And this is your soul's blueprint for every human being. Interesting enough, this is a reward in itself is by being soul fulfilled. Also interesting enough, the universe still somehow blows your mind out the water and pours into you with loving support and resources so you can keep going. The ever-abundant universe still pours into you when you pour into yourself in your gifts, and what you gift yourself, the universe will match times infinity, right? We can't match the universe's love. It's just so powerful. The more we operate in humility, and the more that, we have no egoic agenda attached to our good deeds and all the action we take, the more that we are shown how divinely guided and led and abundant we are for fulfilling the highest divine will in our divine destiny. Again, good karma is good action. Karma means action in its most accurate translation. Know that ego can also be in the form of good intentions. Ooh, sorry to bust y'all bubbles. I had to bust my bubble with this. Ego can be in the form of good intentions. Even if we have good intentions, we must tune in to see if we are taking place from a hidden agenda or some sort of ego feed, even if it isn't always apparent or obvious at first. Or is the action truly from the highest and greatest good of all, with no attachment to the outcome? Is it from the purest form of love down to the most seemingly mundane tasks like changing a diaper, to more big things like creating an event or creating a big business? This won't require thought. All you have to do is tune and be the love in all your actions. Your thoughts will be a byproduct of your heart to process what needs to be done. The universe reveals its secret to those that dare to follow their hearts. I got this quote from Infinite Waters on YouTube. It sticks with me all the time. And again, I am a living testament to this. So get on with your heart's desires wholeheartedly, let go of attachments, and take one step at a time. You will be blown out the water where you will be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Keep going with unconditional love, ease, grace, self-awareness, and accountability. So you know what, let's wrap it up. We have gone into the depths of these 8 daily essentials, and I hope you have found this podcast beneficial and motivational so that you can apply it to your everyday life. And I hope now you can at least have a sense of how truly important these are to be successful within and outside of ourselves. So please share this podcast, listen to it on your commute, repeat this podcast if you have to again. I'm so grateful you were here. I hope you found this podcast beneficial. I even listened back to my own podcast, and I just want to thank you so much. It means so much for you to be here. Whether it's one person or 1,000 people, I'm doing what I love. All right, sending you all so much love. Thank you for listening to Let Go My Ego. Follow me on Instagram at Chosen Goddess, or check out my website at godisagoddess.net. And I'm sending you lots and lots of abundance, peace, happiness, and joy. Lots of love. Take care.